my dudes. Gwyneth Paltrow is just the gift that keeps on giving. First she gave us The Candle, and then the sequel to The Candle. You know what one. I did a video on this. You know what one. Then she gave us the Goop Lab, complete with the episode all about the female O. Like, you all know. It's one of my top viewed videos on this damn channel, was my reviewing it. She's back! It's not even crazy shit she's selling on her website this time. No. Although I'm sure if I went over there, there probably is new stuff. I haven't looked in like a solid ass year. I am almost definitely positive she has new stuff there too. I could make videos on. I just haven't looked. But she has a new Netflix show. It's kind of like a little mini-series like Goop Lab was, where I think it's like 6 episodes. But this one is called Sex, Love, and Goop. What a disgusting title. Like, I'm sorry putting 2 of those words in the same title. I'm like, oh, that was not well thought out. That's an unfortunate title. Should have thought that one through a little better, Gwyneth, but whatever. So, I was going into it assuming, you know what happens when we assume make an ass out of you and me, but assuming it was probably gonna be like that one episode of Goop Lab. And I will preface this saying, I've only watched the first episode so far. I will review each episode of this as I watch it. Today we are only talking about episode 1 of this. And at least as far as episode 1 goes, I can say it is not the same thing as that episode of Goop Lab. Maybe later episodes will turn into it. I don't know. But this first one, we're basically just meeting the cast of characters of the different couples that have come to, I guess, Gwyneth and her group of, not sexologists, but like relationship counselors, intimacy counselors, whatever. I don't know their job titles, to be totally honest with you, but basically pairing the couples with who all they need to go to improve their intimacy, apparently. So this episode really just focused on 2 of the couples. One of them was a couple that is apparently very sexually mismatched. Like, in a way that I think is probably really, really relatable, in that the dude just is a typical dude. When he wants to do it, and she's like, I'm just out here living my life. I'm just doing dishes. What are you doing? Relatable. But, like, I'm not saying all men, but, like, I would say it's probably the norm. But, so, okay, she sent them to this counselor, who first gave them a quiz to see in what ways they ranked in different forms of, like, intimacy. And, like, she pointed out that most couples, honestly, who come to her are, like, opposites on this, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily incompatible or that they can't find a way to make it work. It just means you have to find ways to be inventive within that to make it work for both parties, which, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for that, to be real with you. I think, actually, that's probably a really good takeaway here. So one of them, the dude, ranked highest in just pure sexuality for the way that he pertains to how he approaches sex. He just, for him, what gets him going is just the act itself and the sight of those parts and everything. I'm trying to not get demonetized. I'm sure it'll get demonetized anyway, just for the title, but I'm trying. And scored lowest in kink. She scored the lowest, I think, in pure sexuality, but the highest in kink and in the energetic form of attraction, and like the anticipation, the build-up, the whole mental game of it. So, okay, she could work with that, and she did. She basically went through and first tried to introduce the dude to, like, the idea of energy play where you're not even actually touching. She's like hovering her hand. It reminded me of another episode of Goop Lab, the one with the whole energy fields thing. But not actually touching, but you could feel heat from, like, a certain distance away from the skin. Or you could see, like, ways that, like, without actually touching, look, she actually reacts without ever having to touch her. So it's like, oh, interesting. And paying attention to what parts respond most without even touching, and then going from there. And then moved on to just normal touch and seeing where she responded to. If she had to rate it on a scale, what would she rate it as? And then she brought out some kinky toys and had him experiment a little bit. And you could tell he was, like, so not comfortable with most of it, but it wasn't even, like, anything that bad, though. It was, like, in my opinion, this was more just, like, sensual stuff, like, just igniting the senses. This isn't even, like, the act itself. This is just getting the senses involved. But yeah, you could see him being like, I don't know about this. And a lot of them she didn't really respond to either. There's a few that she sure as shit did, but and the few that she did, I'm over here like, damn, I'm jealous. Wish that were me. And then had him do, like, one more exercise where basically had him in the role of being the one to boss her around and have her just slowly assume different poses at whatever he wanted to see, and just that connection of getting her out of her own head apparently, like, really, really did it for both of them. So it's like, oh, I mean, there's a lot to be said for... I mean, this is just one couple and that one combination, but I mean, if there's, like, professionals out there that are that good to where they can, like, make it work with any combo, like, damn, more power to them. All the respect, hats off to you, but, like, wow. That was honestly kind of impressive to watch. Now, the other therapist she brought in for the other couple that they were focusing on this week was basically not so much an incompatibility that way, but a failure to communicate, and they've lost the spark. They pretty much lost it as soon as they had kids, because all she's focused on now is the kids, which I think is, again, relatable and a very normal thing, and no doubt why they chose this couple to make an episode on. And started out by kind of trying to antagonize him a bit and get her in the headspace of when she's kind of just pissed off and not having it with him, and watching the body language, and then watching how quickly he and his body language responded to that, even in a controlled setting of kind of just shrinking back like a scared little boy, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And then analyzing from there. But the fact that she could, like, really hone in on, like, every last piece of body language just from that and figure out where it needed to go. I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole science here. Damn, that's good. But, and then trying to see if she could manipulate them through different body languages to each other, just through physical touch and the way that they move around each other, and seeing how they still have that weird, anxious, off vibes about them, and trying to guide them through different ways to see if she could get them to connect just through that alone as a start, and then through kind of talk therapy of what do you like about your partner. And it was very nice and thoughtful when the woman did it. When the guy did it, the woman kind of got pissed off that, yeah, but none of those are really about me. That's just stuff you like that I do for you. None of this is about me. It's like, ooh, I think maybe you should be, like, seeing a marriage counselor straight up. Like, they went into this full-on admitting that they were, like, this close to a divorce, so it's like, I don't know if they're gonna be in future episodes of this, or if that was all they're giving us on this. I really kind of want to see there be more episodes with this particular couple, and see how it pans out, and just how they guide them through this, because I'm like, yeah, that was an interesting experiment you did there, and observation, but how do you fix it from that? Like, we didn't really go into the how are you getting from point A to point B on this. I'm kind of really, really intrigued here about that. So again, I don't know if they're going to go back to that couple, or if that was all we get of them, and they're just focusing on different couples each episode. I'll keep you posted as I watch it. But I was like, okay, so far, this show is absolutely not what I was expecting going in. I don't think so far was what anybody kind of assumed it was going to be. I think they saw that title and assumed, ooh, smut, racy, but, like, so far, no. No, it's really not. But again, this is only episode 1. That could change at any given moment. This is Gwyneth Paltrow we're talking about. Although she is much more of a background character in this series, I'm noticing, than Goop Lab. So I'm also kind of intrigued to see if that's a mainstay throughout the series, or if she becomes more involved as it goes along. I don't know. So I don't know if she really just, like, brought in professionals to do the work this time. She's like, I'm gonna be hands off, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this, but I know who does. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. There's like 5 more episodes, I think. So again, I'll review each of them as I go through. But this one, definitely very interesting. Very interesting. I will give it that. So I'm really intrigued to see where the rest of it goes. If it does take a sudden nosedive into the exact territory we're all assuming it's going to, or if it actually has substance to it like this one did. But yeah, this one I was kind of pleasantly surprised, not gonna lie. So, anyways, that is it for this one, guys. So, if that sounds interesting to you, I would say watch it. If not, then probably skippable for you, but you probably also didn't need me to tell you that if that didn't sound interesting to you. You probably already knew that it's not something that's going to be interesting for you if you're in that camp. But anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.